It begins softly. Nobody sees it happening at first. You're 7 years old, looking into the eyes of a parent who is breaking down. Maybe they have an addiction. Maybe they get angry a lot. Maybe it's just the empty quietness of someone too hurt to be there for you. And without anyone saying anything, something old wakes up in your young brain. If I don't keep everything okay, nobody else will. This is how a child vanishes. Not in body, but in mind. They smile bigger, they cry quieter, they figure out how to sense the room's mood before they talk. They turn into the feelings controller of the family. They turn into tiny grown-ups way before their brains are ready, and everyone around them claps for it. You're so grown up, you're so reliable, you're so brave. But nobody ever pauses to wonder, what did this cost you? This is the hidden sadness of kids who had to grow up too quickly. And today we're going way down into the mind science of that kid, because the damage doesn't disappear when you get older. It changes you. It stays with you in friendships, jobs, and how much you value yourself. And if you don't get what really happened, you'll spend your grown-up life doing the same survival tricks that once protected you, but are now quietly hurting you. Let's begin with what's actually going on in development. When kids are made to emotionally take care of adults instead of adults taking care of them, mind scientists call this parentification. It's when a kid becomes the helper, the problem solver, the listener, the guardian. This isn't just bad for you, it changes how your brain works. Because when a kid is always put in control of handling feelings, either theirs or someone else's, it builds something called hypervigilance. You're constantly looking for trouble. You tiptoe around everything. You figure out that love is a trade. You give calmness and maybe they'll give you protection. You figure out that your wants are risky and their wants matter more. So you fade away, not in body, but in feelings. And where you used to be grows a copy of you that acts perfectly. You turn into the well-behaved child, the silent hard worker, the friend who listens to problems, the one who never needs anything. And you wear this character so believably that even you forget it's fake. But way underneath, something is in pain. Something stings because the little kid inside you that you hid didn't disappear. They're still inside screaming quietly, "Why didn't somebody keep me safe?" When you get bigger, the problems become more tangled. You might turn super independent. You say no to help, keep people far away, or never feel really secure in love. You might feel nothing during good times because happiness feels strange, not deserved, or even scary. You might find it hard to relax because working hard is the only way you've ever felt important. And the hardest part is, you might not even know you're still living in survival brain. Because when mess up is treated as normal early on, your alarm system thinks chaos is regular. Calmness feels strange, quietness feels fishy, love feels like something you'll owe back. This is the mind science of a kid made to grow up too quickly. It's not just being upset. It's a complicated hurt that rebuilds how you see the world, and even more importantly, how you see yourself. Now you might wonder, why would any kid choose to do that job? Because children will do whatever it takes to stay connected, even give up who they really are. The decision is never on purpose. It's from the body. When safety is missing, the kid gives up being real to feel like they belong. That's not being weak. That's being smart. That's survival instinct. But the sad part is this. What protected you back then traps you today. So many of us are moving around as successful grown-ups with deeply ignored inner kids controlling everything. We work too hard to earn love. We stay quiet to stop being left. We look after everyone else but secretly hope someone would just check if we're doing okay. And that dream that someone will see you're not as tough as you act, that maybe, just maybe, you'll finally get to break down and be caught. That is the wish that never came true, not from your adult you, but from the kid who never got to be a kid. The first move toward getting better isn't repairing, it's noticing. Because until you accept what happened, you'll keep lying to yourself with ideas like, "It wasn't so terrible. Other kids had it harder. I came out okay." But okay is pretending too. And way down, you understand it. So what becomes of that child when they get older? They turn into adults who never feel protected even in peaceful places. They turn into people in love who can't trust gentleness. They turn into people who give but can't take. They turn into the type of people who say sorry for tears, jump at kind words, and mix up being tired with being successful. This is what it costs to grow up too quickly. Because if your young years taught you to be tough instead of gentle, to be silent instead of truthful, to repair others while ignoring your own broken pieces, then what kind of grown-up life do you get? You get a life where you're always holding tight, hoping for someone to tell you it's okay to finally break down. But here's what's real. Nobody's coming to save the kid you hid away. You are the person who has to go back and take their hand. You are the person who has to say what nobody else ever said. You didn't earn that pain. You were only a child. You can stop trying so hard now. This is where shadow work starts. Not repairing, not acting, not skipping past the hurt with fake cheerfulness, but looking at the left behind pieces of yourself and saying, I notice you now, I listen to you now, and I'm staying. That is the fixing journey. And it's really hard because it wants you to feel the sadness you never had space to feel. It wants you to sit with the anger, the hurt, the wishes that never got answered, to cry for the birthdays when nobody came, to feel sad for the innocence you gave up while guarding people who should have guarded you. But that sadness, it's not being weak, it's showing that you're healing, because what was once stuck is now moving. Now, let's discuss how this survival trick appears in grown-up life, quietly, sadly, and often invisibly. You might turn into a problem solver in all your friendships, but never allow anyone to really know you. You might get complimented for not needing help when way down, you're scared of being too much. You might be in relationships where you do too much, always fixing, handling, over-explaining, and questioning why you feel angry. You might have trouble with limits because saying no still seems like turning your back on someone. These are not just who you are. They are survival tools, taught, trained, and the exciting news, they can be untaught. But only when you stop treating your toughness like a prize and start respecting your hurts. One of the strongest things you can do is ask your inner kid, what did I want back then that I never received? You might hear replies like, I wanted someone to say it wasn't my mistake. I wanted someone to check on my feelings. I wanted to have fun, take breaks, and giggle without being scared. And bit by bit, very bit by bit, you start to offer those things to yourself, not to erase your past, but to stop living it over and over. This is how you stop looking for parents in your boyfriend or girlfriend. This is how you stop mixing up worry for gut feelings. This is how you stop running away from the kid you were and the person you're turning into. Carl Jung once wrote, there is no waking up without hurt. People will do anything, no matter how silly, to escape looking at their own spirit. But shadow work asks that we look at it, every bit of it, the forgotten, the embarrassed, the frightened, the mad, because healing isn't about turning into somebody different. It's about remembering who you were before the world decided who you should be. So, if you're someone who grew up too quickly, understand this. Your maturity was never wrong. What was wrong was that you had no other option, but right now you do. You can pick gentleness, you can pick rest. You can pick to stop controlling everyone else's feelings and begin respecting your own. And no, it won't happen in one night. There will be times you feel like a kid again. Perfect. That's exactly right. Let that kid come back. Let them weep. Let them have fun. Let them finally be noticed because you're not damaged. You're becoming complete. And maybe for the very first time, you're actually growing up the correct way.